All right, Claire. First time. Sorry. Claire Fahey, in the last 12 months, this is your third visit to Australia. How's it been?
Oh, it's so good to be back here. I can't deny it. If you'd have told me 12 months ago I'd visit Australia and Hobart 3 times in less than a year, I would have said you're mad. But turns out maybe I'm mad. But I'm pretty happy with the decision, to be honest, and really excited to be here.
So last year, the Australian Women's and the Australian Men's Opens were 2 separate events. Now it's back together again. How different is it that as a player coming and being at both together?
Yeah, that's a big pull card for me. I was pretty excited to see them back on the same venue. I understood why they changed it last year, but obviously just as a convenience factor, travelling such a long way for me, I did and ah about just coming out for the women's, and then as I say, if you're going to travel this far, and I think always in my mind is getting the best for my tennis, it was a no-brainer to do both. So I'm stoked.
How's the preparation been coming into this week?
Preparation's been good, actually. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I think when you have a tournament to aim for, it's nice to kind of, especially over the Christmas period, keep yourself pretty focused and not too much celebrating going on. Still on the tennis court, kind of Christmas Eve, and then 2 days after. And good to have a focus point to really kind of dial in.
So your first round match in the open draw is against Lewis Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Last time you two played in a competitive match was a 5-setter at the British Open in 2022, which you lost in the 5th. What lessons are you taking from that match that you can bring to this one?
I mean, I barely remember matches from like last week, let alone 2022. My most recent kind of competitive tennis with Lewis was at Preston Hall beginning of this season, and I beat him 8-4, and I felt really comfortable out there. So on a home court that we both knew pretty well, I think here in Hobart, in everyone in the draw, I probably played here the most in the last 12 months. I really like the court, so I'm just hoping kind of that form continues. 2022 seems like too long ago to kind of take anything from it now.
How do you find the court out here?
I really like it. It is definitely different. You've got to learn to love it, a little bit like kind of going to an Oxford in the UK. You've got to kind of adjust to all the nuances. I've always wondered why Rob got so good, and then I realised he started at Hobart with a grill that doesn't exist. So if you're gonna be good at your targets, Hobart's a good place to learn.
In the open doubles, you're playing with Will Flynn against Kieran Booth and Ollie Pridmore. What style? How do you think that your style matches up with Will's?
I'm definitely pleased to be on the same side of the net as Will. That was a big bonus. We've never played doubles together in a competitive event, so really looking forward to having some firepower behind kind of what my style is, which is hopefully pretty steady and consistent, with a couple of kind of, I suppose, classic weapons, but not necessarily the firepower that he holds. So it'll be really interesting.
That first doubles match against 2 home favourites here in Hobart, how do you fight against that pressure of having the crowd and their home court against you?
It's definitely. I think it's a match that you want, because you've got nothing to lose, and I think similarly they won't know. Kind of, we're a bit of an unknown force at the moment, so the first set will be interesting to see who settles first and who can get on top. But I'm looking forward to it.
Just before we move on to the women's draw, this is the first Open ever where 2 women have played in the main draw of the men's event. What does that say about the status of women's tennis at the moment?
Only good things. I think that's this is a pretty mega draw for that for the first time ever. So excited to be a part of it and happy to see it happen. And hopefully there's 2 in this one, and there'll be even more in the future. So yeah.
Turning now to the women's, we are all expecting another chapter in the ongoing epic that is between you and Leah. How do you bring yourself to the fight each time that we see another chapter of this epic?
I suppose there's a big focus in my career of keeping keeping the number one status and keeping the wins rolling in. So it's always good to have goals, and this is just another one of them. I think that's kind of how I'm driven, always on to the next one. So definitely looking forward to it. Last time in March we had a great battle. So I just think the court really suits my game, and I can kind of settle into it a bit quicker than others perhaps. So looking forward to another hopefully good week.
What lesson was from that experience in March then?
There's quite a few. That I kind of keep maybe a bit close, and definitely some tactical things that came from that. So luckily I had the sense back then to write it all down, which is quite helpful. Maybe 2022 I should have done the same thing with Lewis, but win some, we lose some.
And in the doubles, playing with Saskia, in all likelihood a final against Leah and Jess in a rematch of the French Open last year. Playing with Sass again, it's a partnership that you had a bit earlier in your career, perhaps a little bit less so in recent times. What's it going to be like back with Sass?
Really looking forward to it, actually. As soon as I kind of knew I was coming out here, I knew I wanted to see if Sass and I could team up again. It'd be really nice to get back on a more sensible court than the Paris one, and should it all go to seedings, that will be the final, and got no doubt it'll be another good test. So always good fun.
Moving now to the Ladies World Championship, we've had the change in the format for this year. What is your opinion and approach to that change in format? We'll talk about the event itself, but just on the format.
I'm really excited. I think it's one of those kind of movements and moments in history where it changes, just like they did with the Men's World Championship. I think this is a huge step forwards. Obviously, it's a bit of an unknown. Everyone's going in kind of, everyone's hoping it's going to live up to all the expectations. I really hope it does. I think the format is great. I think a lot of work went into it, a lot of collaboration, and we've come up with something that I think will be really special. So I'm excited. I think I'm a little bit nervous because it's a huge change to what is there at the moment. But I think it's something that I've actually wanted for a really, really long time. So can't believe it's going to happen.
How different is it going to be playing against someone who's going to come into the final with match practice? I know it's something that Rob will have had for many times over his career, but now it's your turn to sit in the final and wait.
Yeah, it's funny, when it came out, I said to Rob, this is going to be, how would I approach it differently? He just said, you don't, it's interesting. It'll be a best of 5 in the finals. That's another a fun twist. And I've thought long and hard about that, because someone will have that match practice and have that element of it, but how it's structured is I will still get the court time, and so if I should want to play practice sets, etc., I'll have that opportunity to do so. And actually being around Rob's World Challenges and how that's happened, you learn a lot along the way of kind of mindset and preparation. So it's a bit of an unknown, which is something different for the last however many years, but always up for a change and a challenge.
So we've had the announcement also of the dates and the venue. Firstly, what do you think of Newport as a venue? And then secondly, how is that going to structure the rest of this season for you?
Really excited to go to Newport. Anyone who hasn't been, they need to go. It's definitely kind of a bucket list, real tennis court and club. Newport in May should be lovely. It's in between like 4 different beaches. I've had some great memories in Newport, so I'm really looking forward to going back. It's a beautiful court, and I think, again, looking at the field, I've probably played that court a lot more than others. I actually spent a summer there when I was 18, training there. So it's kind of, it's got a lot of, I suppose, a lot of memories that are good for me. So nice to get back there. Yeah, and right now it definitely feels like as the new year ticks over, my focus shifts purely to May. So everything up till then is a bit of a building block. Testing and trialing some new tactics and working on gameplay, and between now and then everything is important, but nothing is quite as important as that May.
What is your diary looking like for the rest of this season then?
So come back from here and I will play Ladies British Open rackets because there's a World Doubles Challenge going on in early May, which I'm going to attempt with Tara Lumley. So we'll get back on the doubles court together. So fit that in as a bit of extra court time. And then I'll play silver racket at Seacourt, go out to Philadelphia, play the US Ladies Open, and then that will be I'll play FLM in London. So a bit more travel to go, and then I'll have a long run into May, which I think will suit me quite nicely. I'm quite happy with how it's planned out, actually.
All right, Claire Fahey, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ben.